What's up, YouTube? Episode 4 of the Road to Top 10K series. Going with the RG Monk deck again, and let's get into our first of 6 matches for the day. Alright. Gonna probably just cycle RG opposite lane here. It's gonna be recruits, so I'm gonna try and set up a defense with my hunter. And then, alright, yeah. This is not looking too good right now. Okay. Yeah. Both towers down. I think that we're going to have to just... I mean, maybe I'll try and just throw an RG in front here, but that is a pretty poor start for me. Maybe... Alright, let's see. Thankfully that hunter is on. I think that I'll need to go for a fireball. And our only chance is going to be a 3-crown race, which is unfortunate. I'll send out a fisherman here. Alright, he's going to recruits. I'm going to go for my monk and my hunter. I think I'll have to just let those wall breakers connect, unfortunately. But we do have a little bit of a counter push going here. I'll go for the monk ability. And then, alright, I actually didn't need that log there, but one hit is good. I'm gonna need to try and maybe get a fireball down. I missed the goblin cage guy. 30 seconds left, and seems like the best we're gonna be able to do is just take his tower. And yeah, not enough time to get a 3-crown, so I'm gonna just let him have this match here. Alright. I'm gonna just go ahead and get into match 2 here. Let's try and turn this session around. Alright. I'll match that small spell with my log. And then probably just play reactively here, because my RG plays have been costing me. In yesterday's session and already in my first game today, that RG in the back was the reason we lost. Yeah, so I guess like my plan for the rest of the week is going to be just uploading one Clash Royale video a day through Sunday, see where we land, and then after that, I'm going to try to upload the next Brawl Stars content next Thursday, just because I'm busy with school through early next week. But I think that honestly I have a somewhat of a elixir advantage right now, so I'm going to try and press that a little bit. I'll go for a log here on the tombstone skeletons, and hopefully RG is able to get 2 hits, which is nice. I'll go with skeletons up high. And alright, I'm going to start a monk in the back. And E-Spirit maybe. Fisherman. I'll just get to a hunter because I think even if he goes lava in the other lane, I'll be able to get back to my stuff in time. I'll pop this monk ability to kill the Mega Minion and then get another monk down. And this second one is going to be for a Spirit Empress. And it reflects his Fireball as well, which is really good. And Eva RG is getting some really solid damage here. I'll go for the E-Spirit and then Skeletons. And then I think one more Monk RG push should be game. I think he may have the Evo Valken cycle, but this should still be enough to take his tower because, yeah, it's not going to be able to fully pull it off. And, all right, that puts our record to 1-1 on the day, so let's go ahead and get into our third match. All right, Skeletons on his Fire Spirit. I'm going to have to go for a Hunter and just a Log. I don't want to overcommit Elixir here, but I am going to take a decent amount of damage. I could do the counter push with RG there, but like I said, I'm going to try and play a little bit more passively. I'm not really sure what this opponent may have just yet. He's going to cycle the Earthquake, so I'm going to now go in with my Monk. And I don't want to eat up that Fire Spirit because that's pretty much the damage of a Fireball. I'll go for my Fisherman and then the pop on my Monk ability. And then, honestly, I might try and be a little bit different and go for the split lane push there, but it wasn't as successful as I would have hoped for. Opponent does a good job. Hopefully we don't even get a single RG hit, but it's still early in the game, and if I'm patient, this should be a winnable match. I'm going to go for the Hunter in the back, cycle to my Evo, because he doesn't have a big spell besides Earthquake to punish me. I'll go for my Monk in front here for his Queen. Alright, and then I'm going to pop my ability because the Hunter's going to be able to assist. He's probably going to delivery, but it should get one shot. And we force out a Fire Spirit. And we get an E-Spirit connection as well, which is really good. So I'm going to Hunter the back now. Maybe go for an early Fisherman onto this cannon, which seems like it did all right. And then I'll pop my Monk ability here. And he's going to be back to another cannon probably, but I might just try and Fireball it, because I do get a little bit of value on the tower there. No need to log the Skeletons because it's an Evo RG. And we do take a considerable damage lead now. I'm going to play this safe, get a Monk down. Pop my ability here. Start an RG in the back and try and defend this minimally here with just only Skeletons. And I am going to be able to get another Monk down. And my Monk on the other side breaks through. I'm going to just go ahead and Fireball the cannon down, get a log, and We get 2 hits, which puts it in fireball range, and even a third. So, all right. That's pretty solid there. 2-1 record. Let's hop into match 3, or pardon me, match 4. All right, I'll go for the fisherman onto his furnace. And then a log. And then a hunter for his drill. Maybe could have been played slightly better, but I feel like he did spend a decent amount of elixir there, so I'm going to try and counter push pretty aggressively here. Hopefully get my fisherman onto his cannon, but it's out of range. Alright, so I'll probably try and defend cheaply here with my E-Spirit and then skeletons. And he's probably going to furnace the back now, so I'll monk. And then probably get a log down and a pop ability. Go for the hunter in the front. That's a solid defense there, and we have a little bit of a counter push going here. But he'll probably be able to shut it down pretty easily. Let's try and get his Evo Knight down. Hero Knight. And, alright. Not terrible overall there. I think that I want to take this furnace off the board as quickly as possible. But I will delay the second log slightly. For, yep, that fire spirit there. And, alright, I'm going to need to try and bridge block his his Hero Knight, because that ability could prove to be dangerous. And alright, we do have a Monk RG push now, so I'm going to try and pop my ability. Get a fireball down onto his furnace, and then get a log down onto it as well. And we get some solid damage there. I'm going to go for another bridge block with my Monk. And then the fisherman and some skeletons to try and clean up on defense. Pop my Monk ability. He has no building in hand, so I'm going to try and go in now with the RG. I'm going to go for a log. He does manage to get back to another cannon, but we're able to still have a solid defense here. I'm going to go for the fisherman onto the hunter. And honestly just get a log down here. Unfortunately, his furnace does stay alive. So I might need to just fireball it down. And then try my best to defend this push. We do take a decent amount of damage there, but I'm going to try and go in for the counter push now. Get a fireball down on his furnace. The Evo RG stays alive, and I think that I'm going to need to stay aggressive right now because his drill poisons could pose a little bit of difficulties for me. Hunter onto his drill. I'll go here. He doesn't have an Evo drill, which hunters should do decently defending. I'm going to need to try and get some more troops down, and then I'm going to need to try and get a fireball onto his cannon wherever he places it. Maybe pre-cannon Unfortunately, I miss it. And wow, okay, this is going to be a... Oh, I should have caught that fire spirit. Unfortunately, that's going to be a loss. I think that was match 4. I'm just going to confirm real quick. And yeah, all right, so that's match 4. So we have 2 more matches. Right now we're at 2-2, so hopefully we can get a winning record today. All right, heal spirit. I'll just go for my electro spirit onto it. Go for a monk onto his knight. He's going to go for a monk of his own. Maybe I'll go for a hunter here. Seems like he might be running some sort of a homemade deck. And all right, I'm going to try and get this log down. And then E-Spirit at the bridge. Maybe like a fisherman here for his knight. And then try and cycle to my Evo Hunter because I think he's running some sort of beatdown deck most likely. I'll put my monk in front here to try and protect my hunter from his monk. And honestly, I think we do win that bridge interaction, so I'm going to try and go in for an RG, even though I don't know what he has yet. Alright, so he has some elite barbarians. And this is a pretty formidable push now coming down our lane. But luckily I have an Evo Hunter. Although he does get a rage down as well. And alright, unfortunately, it looks like that might be our tower. Still a minute left, and I think okay, it's going to be 3M. I'm going to wait a second now and then pop my monk ability. And then I just got to try and go for an RG at the bridge. But honestly, his elite barbarians are probably going to be able to shut it down pretty easily. And yeah. Alright, so I think, yeah, the RG was still a little bit too aggressive. I mean, I'm not able to yet. I guess, like, yeah, I'm just making a few too many macro level mistakes on when to go in and when not to. And that's really costing me games here, but let's head into match 6 and try and get a 3-3 record, hopefully. Alright, so it's going to be another drill game. Going to get my monk down here. And honestly, into drill, without the drill to punish, I think that this is actually an opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive, but I'll wait to get that knight back onto my side of the bridge. Protect my monk's HP and then go in for the RG here. I'll pop the monk ability. And it is able to reflect the cannon, so I'm going to get some solid damage here. I think at least 3 hits. That's pretty solid. And I'll go ahead with my hunter onto his drill. He's going to be running a firecracker. So I'll pull that with my fisherman. And then I'm going to start a monk in the back. He has an Evo drill coming right now, which I'll need to watch out about. I'll try and reflect his firecracker ability the next one. And then I'm going to need to get a log down because that's a lot of damage from his goblins. And honestly, I think I'm going to need to go more aggressive here, monk near the bridge, and then just an RG right afterwards. Pop my monk ability, get a hunter down on defense. And we're definitely getting some solid damage this time around. One more hit, excellent. And then hopefully I'm able to catch his Evo Cracker. Although I do miss, unfortunately, I'm going to need to pop my monk ability. And then his tower is in fireball range, so that's going to be a good game. Because most likely he won't be able to get a strong enough drill push here. I'll just make sure to keep it safe with this log. And then fireball for game. So what I'm learning is that it's definitely matchup dependent how aggressive I want to play the RGs. Like into these cycle decks, I'm less likely to get punished hard. So that's why I think it's a little bit better to go in with the RGs more aggressive. But against decks like the 3M, it's very punishing for me to go for an RG because of the counter push. So just a quick summary, we went 0-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, and then ended the session at 3-3. So with that, I'll conclude this video. Thanks guys for tuning in.